I've had students that had to pack their bags and go back to their home
Oh,
country.
Jesus. That's
Sad,
that's it.
sad. It's sad. It's horrible. I think I need therapy myself. I'm also an empath. So I tend to take it very, it's not personal because I know that I do the best I can do for them.
Of
But
course.
unfortunately, age is a factor. If you are 55 years old and you don't know the basics, your brain is just probably not.
It's gonna start collapsing little by little.
Yeah. Some cases are almost impossible. And I
Wow.
think the government knows that.
Mm.
So
So how
there
do you
is.
manage that with the students then? If you had students, okay, you gave me the extreme case. Okay, I'm fed up with this. Bye bye. Pack up my suitcase and go back to
No,
my home
that's not
country.
I'm fed up with it. Is
But
that
what
your
about,
visa is expired? If you don't give me the score in the next 30 days, you're out of here.
so how do
They're
you
not fed
manage
up.
that pressure then? Especially in the speaking part. How do you manage that?
They don't. They don't. There is actually a limit to what we can do
Wow.
for them.
Yeah.
Well, IELTS says, the statistics says to gain one level, 1 point. I think
Hmm.
it's a bit generalized, to be honest, but one level is 3 months. And actually, if you go to an international English school, they will put you in they will do a test, of course, but generally they will put you in A2 level for 3 months. Then you go to B1 for 3 months, and then you go to B2 for 3 months. And then you put that into the IELTS frame, and you know
Hmm.
that the A2 will probably be a 4 and 5 if you have good techniques. B1 will be probably A2 will be nothing. B1 will be a 5 if you have good techniques. B2 will be 5 if you've got no techniques, but will probably be a 6 or up if you have good exam techniques, and C1 and so on. But it is says that it should require 3 months to gain one level.
Got it.
Hence, they now let you do the one skill retake, but you have 60 days to do it
Wow.
because we want to capture your language here. And now, if you have 3 months to get ready and higher your score, and now you had 555 and you come in for a 7 in speaking, that's not realistic. So you've got 60 days to do that because we are
Wow.
sure that in 60 days you cannot improve more than 1 point.
Of course. So
Yeah.
realistically speaking now, let's say you have a student whose level is a 3.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to pull him up to a 5, for example?
Well, again, it depends on them a lot. You are free, but you are young. You've got nothing else to do. You've got no other stress but to study. We meet up every day, couple of hours a day. I give you exercises. You do your exercises. You are focused. You don't get drunk at night. You actually can brain,
Good point.
something. You are a family father working for 3 kids. Your wife, she wants to go out for dinners, of course. She moved to Australia. She wants to have fun. The kids have all these needs. You need to pay for all of this. You need to work all day. You are stressed. You've got the pressure. Um, I cannot
Well,
compare this to a young single man that comes in and wants to
that has
have a
enough
life.
time to do it, and the other ones that have already a life behind.
Yes. This
Got
is
it.
pure survival, and the time and energy are very limited.
Got it. Got it. All
This
right.
is in 3 months. This one's gonna need a year if he can.
Mm. Well,
So
you
that's
gotta,
why the first intakes that I had with my teachers. So I train my teachers, right?
got it.
I Yeah, because I want them to use the techniques that I use, and I want that our teaching is kind of standardized. Of course, each one of us is a little bit different. The personal relationship is never going to be the same, but what I give, what I promise. My company started as me, myself, sitting on my kitchen,
Yeah.
my kitchen. I mean, I'm sitting on the chair, but at my kitchen table. And that is what I want to bring on. So, but that was difficult for them too to understand. Say, so am I going to teach this? Do we have these 10 lessons that we are going to deliver? Say, well, yes and no, because it really depends on who comes to you. Someone may
Exactly.
need to go to grammar, someone may not. Someone may be very good at speaking, but dyslexic when they write.
Exactly.
We don't know. Someone may be a very good reader, but then cannot
Listening
distinguish.
skill is, yeah,
So realistically, that's why we love to be one-on-one. Of course, business-wise, it will make so much sense to put them in groups. But no, otherwise I'm
hmm
gonna become one of these international schools where at the end of the day, no one is accountable if you pass the exam or not. They
true,
don't care.
true. Well, you got another one there. It's a good point. Now we're gonna make this is another question that I just came out that you just answered now. You're working just one on one, right?
Yeah.
So this is for sure a different type of results that you get at the end of the day. Totally
Yes.
different. That's a total different situation. Because if you're, like you say, in a group, they don't care. But when it's one on one, you see that the person really wants to learn, that they're investing in their own skill, and you see different perspective there. That's a good one. So you have many of those students then. And another point that you just said, I got really interested in that one. You train your teachers, so you all follow a pattern, a structure, a class structure. Of course, you respect the differences in how they teach, their teaching ability. I mean, some of them are different type of teachers. Not all of us are the same. I'm more like, let's say, uh, type of a guy that likes to play with them while learning. But maybe other ones are a little bit more, okay, grammarians, let's call it like that. They like to teach a lot of grammar. So it's different.
Yeah.
But all of them have the same structure, right?
Yes. And I
So
mean, the important thing is to match the right student with the right teacher too.
got it. So
The different learning.
you do uh, a type of a exam to find out what type of a student you have.
I know that many schools or many tutoring businesses just
Hmm
start with a mock. I find that's a waste of time. I don't do that. But I will give you a free half an hour session and we talk for half an hour. Now, why we
hmm
talk for I already know. Well, because I will be asking questions that, of course, are pushing you to use certain
Yeah.
kind of grammar, kind of vocabulary, certain kind of structure or frames in your answers. So I already know if you can naturally do that or not.
hmm
So in 1 hour that you think that I'm just asking you personal questions because I'm annoying, I am actually testing you.
Good. But then
And at the end,
those
yeah,
questions will drive you to choose the right teacher for the student.
yes.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the half an hour, I can also tell you, considering your life situation, your lifestyle, your job, your background, you're gonna need, we can try and do the 10 hours package and send you to the exam. And
hmm
sometimes, oftentimes actually, it's good. You know, they already have a decent level of English, 10 hours, very structured. You've got all the tips, you exercise in between, boom, go, done. Sometimes.
Got
Sometimes
it.
after the 2 hours, we decide we should actually keep going with 2 hours a week for the next 2 months, practicing only writing and speaking, for example. Or sometimes after the half an hour, I'm going to have to tell you that you're going to need 1 year to get a 7 if you work very hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes you never see them again. It's fine.
Exactly. Well, that's another situation. Yeah. Um, that's the speaking, the reading. One more that we're actually just missing here. What about the listening part?
That's a tricky one because it's not only about listening. It's about multitasking.
Mm.
So the recording starts and there is no pause. If you have to go to the toilet, too bad. Your own problem.
Exactly. So
So stop it.
recommendation number one, do not drink water.
No. Don't bring the water bottle in. Doesn't matter. They don't let you anyway. It needs to be transparent. So funny. But it's super secure, so you cannot
Yeah,
copy. You
exactly.
write on your phone, these kind of things. But don't drink water just in case. Just
Yes.
say for 4 hours straight.
Eh,
Um, so that is actually you need to be focused.
mhm.
If you miss one, it's not only the fact that you miss one answer, okay, fine, you can miss one answer, but psychologically, you need to be able to let go. And that's part of my a life process for me to learning how to let go of people, things, situations. I said, you need to do that in your listening part. You realize
True.
that you missed one. You realize that, oh, you were still waiting for this answer, and suddenly they're already talking about the next three or four. Um, Let it go. You need to get back on track, and you don't have
Wow.
5 seconds to do that because in those 5 seconds, you're gonna miss another 2 points.
Yes.
So you
That's
have just selected about 1 minute, just over a minute, to look at a group of questions. All right. So in that minute, I've seen people looking up. I've seen students complaining to me, saying, "Why do they have to wait 1 minute before starting the recording?" I was like, "Maybe you should use the minute."
of course.
Most important thing is highlighting. So highlighting, and this is a complete. I've actually talked to the IELTS people, and I say, why in your website, official IELTS website, people are not able to highlight um, when they exercise because
Mm.
it's so important. If you don't use your highlighter, there's no way I couldn't do it without the highlighter.
Wow.
You need to help your brain in every possible way. So
True.
keywords, like the keywords, especially if you have a long text, you have a lot of information. You need to, because every question that you go and look at, you're gonna have to look again. Even if you, oh yeah, I saw that, but I didn't highlight it. Well, you're gonna
Yeah,
have to, and when the test is time sensitive, you cannot do that. You have to highlight. So in your listening
true.
part, you highlight your keywords and you keep following them one by one because you know when your answer is about to come up. But
True.
if you look at that, and then another very important one is they will give you the answer, and then all of a sudden you're there trying to think about the spelling of the word.
Oh, got it.
Translated
What?
spelling. In the meantime, they go, oh, actually, I've changed my mind. And then oh, too late, because you were too focused on the
You missed it.
spelling.
Yes.
You realized that, but you missed it because you were thinking about the spelling.
How
So
many how
that's
many
why
parts in listening to you does IEL have? Four part.
it's part.
Which part is the most challenging?
But E goes in order, and that goes with the reading too. It's in order. So you go from the easiest to
Yeah.
the most difficult.
So
Yeah.
part four is the
So
most difficult one.
yeah. It's usually part four is like a lecture. Will be one
Okay.
person talking, explaining some kind of process or some kind of university lecture of
Hmm.
some kind. And they give you a lot of information that you don't need. So that's another challenging part because you are there waiting for your answer, and then 2 or 3 minutes go with this person, blah, 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 blah. It's like, surely
Where's
I've
the
missed
answer?
it.
Yeah.
That is the in that specific second that you go and have a look, say, oh, maybe I'm just they're talking about something that then they give you the answer. But you were
Wow.
busy looking down. So you missed it. So yeah, in that minute where you need to highlight your keywords, that's actually so important because even though you're not gonna actively remember everything that you're gonna be looking for or
Hmm.
listening for,
Listen in this case, yeah.
in the background, there is a bit of an idea of what's coming next. And you need to
Exactly.
actually be self-confident enough to say, like, no, they didn't. I know they didn't. No,
Yeah.
they didn't. Let's stick to it. And
Confidence
yeah,
again.
it's
That's the key word, I
confidence. Yeah,
guess. Yeah.
yeah. Confidence. Isn't that
So
the key of life?
it is. It is. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's part of it. And that's the way we gotta actually feel with ourselves. Confident. All right. So we just discussed the three first ones, and now we got the last one, writing. In writing, I think there are two parts, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Part one, is it an essay?
Part one is well, part one in general training is a letter, and in
No, in the
academic,
academic, yeah.
the academic is describe an image. Generally, is a graph or a
Oh,
process.
oh, the graph. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah,
This one must be really challenging for students.
it is. It is.
The structure that you need to actually use is must be really, really hard.
Again, it's 150 words. It's
Mm,
not, it's not,
not a
it's not
lot.
that bad. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
lot. So actually, it's the easiest part of the test. Apparently, it weights 33% of your score. But I agree with that in your general training because it's actually a letter or an email that you're sending to your landlord or to your employee or to a business or a complaint or applying for a job or applying for a house. That's quite everyday situation for some. Yeah. And then you have in your introduction, you say who you are, why you're writing, and then you already get half of your score there. So it, the first thing that I tell my students is that the examiner is going to look at your test as if it was a picture. So
Yeah.
if it looks well organized, well balanced, and you have paragraphs in there, yeah, with the right length, you're already halfway through. Your introduction is going to say who you are and why you're writing. Boom, task response. If you don't finish your
Fair
letter,
enough.
too bad. The task response already gave you half of your score anyway.
Yeah. Mm.
I've had students thanking me after the exams, like I had to go to the toilet. And in my in my essay, I only wrote the introduction and the first body paragraph. I'm gonna
Well,
leave the country. I'm already packing my bags. I was like, wait, but did you follow my instructions for your introduction? Because if you did, now we've got a chance. And he did it.
wow.
He got
Really?
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Because in the introduction, you're already telling
this is like
the
a
reader.
movie, Mission Impossible here. Mission
You already
Impossible.
know what you're talking about. You show that you can paraphrase. So you show that you know how to structure your essay. You're telling them what you're going to do in your essay, and you're giving them your opinion. You
Yeah.
already nailed 2 out of 4
Wow.
of criteria that I used. So there is some strategy behind it. We, we can.
So
Yes, we
you
can.
once yeah, so once you nail to follow the strategies, everything must be quite like soft and you just let it go with the flow. So you just fill it up, that's it. You follow the strategy, even though the answer is not that long or whatever. But if it meets the strategy, you can pass it.
You can get a 5
Got it.
if you're lucky. If you
Okay.
come to even it's 6.5, 7, 8, then it's a completely different conversation, obviously.
Got it. So
Actually,
out of these four ones, which one is the most difficult one for your learners according to your experience?
yeah, I think I should divide them into age groups. And under 25, they don't know how to read.
Wow.
Most
I like this
mostly.
one. Whoa. Okay. And
I can actually see the effect of, scrolling, social media, attention spam, the capacity of going deeper into a conversation to give significant examples, to support your idea, to argue for or argue against something.
mhm.
disappearing.
Wow.
Is disappearing. But they probably have a brain that's still flexible enough where we can build it.
Got it.
While you go to older people, let's say, they probably struggle reading and they're not going to become fast readers, possibly. But maybe they can listen a little bit better. They can focus a little bit more. So they will get the strategy.
So,
And they will maybe miss the language, but they will have the capacity or the ability to give you a statement and support it and argue against something. So
interesting
it's
that
it's
one.
very hard for me to give a straight answer.
Yeah, but no, it's perfect because you gave a straight answer. Under 25, the reading skills. Perfect. What about above 25?
It's just a different shade.
Yeah.
So if they've got a good English over 25, they
Mm-hmm.
still get a chance
Got it.
to to, to I don't want to offend anyone for a start.
Oh, I think this is not about offending. I think this is about something very specific. I mean, exams are like this. I mean, you will never be able to actually have a 100% in an exam if you don't actually manage certain skills. Not everybody has actually all the skills pretty well and settled there. So it is like that. And one of the things that I really like about your answer is that you were very straight. Under 25, reading is the problem. Fair enough.
Mhm.
And I believe it. Why is that? They are the younger generation. Younger generations have a lot more problems focusing on reading. And you were given a really good prescription here. So what happens? Yeah, why? Because of the social media impact. Perfect. Fair enough. For sure, if we actually move a little bit forward, like let's say 35 to 40 years old, we're gonna find that maybe they are a lot better in reading. They can focus a little bit more, but their listening skill is a little bit more of a problem, or their writing skill, depending on their job or how much they actually use it in their daily life. The skill,
Mhm.
talking about the skill. But it
And the
actually happens
expression,
like that.
so the older they are, the harder it is to get them to use English structures. Because
Mm,
obviously I've been speaking for the last 40 years in the same way. So what they try to do is to translate their first language expressions into English.
yeah.
And we know that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And then they also have the obstacle, the time and energy. So if I tell a 25 years old that's just going to school, has no family and single, and if he wants to, he can read a lot. He can read
Hmm.
every day. He can watch TED Talks all day. He can watch
Hmm.
documentaries. He can start working on these expressions, vocabulary, idioms, all of that. Now, an older person that's focused on working, earning enough money to support the family, passing the exam, stress, everything else, is not going to read a book before going to sleep.
Hmm.
He's not going to watch TED Talks in the morning. So that is, you see, under 25 or younger have some kind of advantages. Older have another kind of advantages.
Exactly. Yeah, generational stuff. And that's what happens. I mean, I'm not saying this is offensive. I think it is part of a diagnose of what is happening. That's reality. These exams are not actually, to me, to my perspective, these exams are not actually evaluating how much English you can use or the way of communication. These exams test exactly that. Work under pressure, be patient, and stay focused. If you don't have those three, it doesn't matter how much English you know, you will go
Yeah.
down. Period. If you know, whether you know or not, whether you're a native or no native, anyway, if you don't have those three skills there, which are not related to English, you're going down. Because if you don't have actually, you cannot manage your own time. You cannot manage pressure, and you cannot actually just be in focus during specific time, 4 hours. Forget it. I have a problem with focusing. What if I cannot actually focus more than 30 minutes? My attention gap will be terrible. What if some people have dispersed attention? They won't be able to stay focused in the listening because they just saw a fly around and that's it. I think these exams more than learning, more than teaching or showing how much you know about the language itself, it's more about other skills, I think. What's your
Yes.
perspective on it?
I agree with you, but yet again, we need to divide them into groups.
Yeah.
To a 5 or a 6, if you don't have a good English, but I can teach you how to focus and how to follow the instructions and how to write, how to find your answers, how to make the most of what you have.
Hmm.
It's good. But then you get to a 7, 8, and 9, where it's actually about how polished your language is. So it's like now we're talking about a completely different approach.
Hmm.
I
True.
have students that grew up studying in English or grew up in an English speaking country, but still, everyday English is not IELTS English. And that it's a
Yes.
shame because even if they have the perfect structure, even if they can actually expand their ideas,
Hmm.
support, give good examples, finding answers, it gets to a point where it's about actually staging
Hmm.
being a prof,
Yeah.
a kind of language that no one uses. No one uses
Exactly.
that. Yeah, so you have a lot of social media groups and TikTok and
Yeah.
Instagram and constantly, daily, they give you real English, IELTS English. And I tell just sign up to all of them. And when you're
Yeah.
scrolling, scroll through that because that's what you need. You
Yeah.
need now we're going into a kind of English that's not realistically what we need. And that's a
True.
shame. And I understand how you can require that for a university, but I don't understand how you can require that for a working visa.
Exactly. Well, you got it. That's the point. That's the point. I really like that perspective as well. This is the world of the exams. I'm sorry. So the world of the exams is like this. So we need to actually keep teaching this, though it's not about English, it's about more psychological pressure, how to handle that. Period. My perspective on and what I can actually just take from you now. So
Yeah.
we're just coming to the final part of this amazing episode with you. You have lightened up a lot, and I think the audience will enjoy a lot everything that you just said because it's gonna help a lot. And I would like you to give me all your details so I can actually put them in the description of this podcast so they can go to you, reach out to you, and ask for an advice if somebody is actually interested in going to Australia or maybe just interested in taking the IELTS course through online platforms as well. So, what would you say as a final part of this episode?
Oh, I wasn't ready for the question. Okay, as a final part is
Yeah, what would you tell the audience?
don't give up, follow your dreams, don't let an exam stop you, ask for help, practice, but maybe just remember that if you want to move to an English speaking country, you need to be speaking English.
It's true. And
Gosh,
even
there are
yeah, and even
many.
if true, and even if you are not moving to an English speaking country, English is the lingua franca. Anywhere you go, English is the language that can be actually can help you anywhere.
It is, but also maybe in order to encourage all of us, really, is that
Hmm.
don't worry about it. That's actually part of your trademark, your personality. It's
True.
you. Makes you different. Your experience, your background, your culture, your way of expressing yourself. It's important. We don't want to lose that. We want to be proud of that. This is what we
Exactly.
can contribute into whatever room we enter.
Yeah.
Our
Oh,
be
true.
ashamed of your speak. Just get out there and speak, because that's how you
S-
learn. That's the best
Speak
way.
up. Exactly. Make mistakes, learn from
Yeah.
it, and keep going.
I make
Keep going.
mistakes all the time. Have you noticed that? Okay.
Everybody, not only
Yeah.
everybody. Language
Yeah.
is not perfect.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Any language.
I mean, and I don't want to stretch these any further. We shouldn't give examples in the conclusion. But
Go
if
ahead.
you talk with an Irish person or a Scottish person or Australia, New Zealand, they actually hardly the same language sometimes.
Yes.
We are native English speakers.
And anyway,
So don't worry about it.
exactly. That's true. Um, would you like to mention your social media, how people can actually reach you out?
Yes. Well, you can just search Facebook, Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I feel like I'm too old for that. And it's WA IELTS Academy. Or you can just go to my website, which is www.waieltsacademy.com.au and just contact me from there. Got my WhatsApp number in there. You can send me a message. You can ring me up. I'm always available if I'm not teaching. And happy to have a chat with whoever's got questions. You can actually book a 30 minutes free session through the website and ask all the
Amazing.
questions you have. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Valentina, for enlightening the path of many of our listeners here. Hopefully, your voice can reach more people and people actually can just get more interested in taking the exam, and maybe they can contact you so you can give better explanation. Thank you very much, Valentina, for accepting this invitation. It's been a true honor to hear you. I see you're a really good professional, and I'm more than happy to recommend you to anyone who would like to be interested in IELTS. You are pretty knowledgeable, and I think that's something that needs to be promoted. It needs to be advertised. Someone who's professional like you.
Thank you very much. I want to cry now. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a pleasure to talk to you, obviously, and to all of your audience. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Valentina. And remember, the doors of these podcasts are always open. Anytime that you would like to share anything new, you are more than welcome.
Great. Thank you. Love
Thank you
that.
very much, Valentina. See you next time.
Bye. Bye-bye.